So today I'm wearing three different colored yellow. I'm using this one, sort of a golden yellow kind. Then there's a really bright yellow on my socks, and then my pants is a yellow. So three different just for today. And this is where I said I'll start using these colors on these days. And trying to learn how to practice this because it's your practice. And by doing certain things, you will shift your energy. And the thing is, this knowledge, like I read this first part about all these beings and all these higher energies and all these laws and all these other masters and teachers, because you got to go into your chakras and you have to look at yourself. You got to look in your own garbage can. Because going through life, we all try to control, manipulate, we learn and do things. And we have to recognize that and heal it with inside ourselves. And it also always starts with us. It's not out there. And this book I'm reading to you, it will either change you or it won't, like I say. And if you're trying to use it in a way that's not good, these spirits are not stupid. It's like when people call Archangel Michael, they think Archangel Michael's really stupid. Oh, I'm going to call in my arch enemy, my arch rival, or whatever you want to call him, Archangel Michael, and he's going to stand here with a flaming sword because, I'm afraid and I think you're dark and evil, so I might have to have him swing a sword at you. He ain't going to waste his time with that. He's got so many other kinds of things to do. Hey, Rose. And this is where, when you have knowledge, and it's just like knowing karma. Karma is just a teacher. We're always creating karma. All the time. We're always doing something. And we got to acknowledge it. Because karma is just like somehow you're affecting or you're doing something or your mind or whatever it is, and you generate an energy. You're walking down the street and there's somebody going by you, and you go up to wipe your eyelid or something like that, and that person just got threatened by people, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, that person tried to hit me, but you got some dust in your eye, and he walks by you, and now he's terrified of you. Every time he sees you, he thinks you're going to swing at him or do something, and something has done something there. You don't know this. And this is where people have all kinds of knowledge, and they do whatever they want when they're at home. If they have astral traveling abilities, if they do Reiki, whatever they do, they're doing something wrong, and there's things around them watching all the time. So if you want to learn this and use these energies and that, understand, choose to do right with it. Mantras are very, very powerful. Like in natives, we do chants. When we sing songs, when we do everything, we do it 4 times. In Buddhism, you'll learn Om Mani Padme Hum. You'll learn a lot of other kinds of chants. You go into yoga and you go into other things, you're going to learn a lot. And they're going to do something to you if you really understand them. If you're doing it for the right reasons, whatever it is, it's going to shift and do a lot of stuff.
Just going to check your Wi-Fi. I'm going to try it off.
Whatever it is, it's going to shift and do a lot of stuff.
Just going to check your Wi-Fi. I'm going to try it off.
So I am trying to give knowledge and information because we're moving into the 5th dimension. Don't say you're going to be in the 5th dimension if you're not willing to change. Don't think Jesus is going to come and blink for you. Don't think you're going to fool these masters and these teachers. Some of them are billions of years old. And people think they can fool them. They can just call on anything and then pretend to be angels or saints or gurus or whatever. It doesn't work that way. And if you want to teach us knowledge, teach it in the right way. This is what I spend my time trying to do when I attract people, is find lots of ways to help them to grow. But I can't tell them how to use their minds and their thoughts. And a lot of people just want to be manifestors. And I don't know, it's like when I would tell stories about the hubcap master. 15 years I tried to teach him, and he never stopped. And he would just manifest, and do all these things. So this is where this information I'm going to share with you. And remember, these beings, they're not stupid. So if you're going to practice this, practice it for the right reason. That's really important to understand. And this first one is the first ray, they say it is. It's the flame of the will of God. And Master El Moira is part of that. So the main God qualities, that's from this chakra, right? The throat chakra. That's why when I do my Sunday prayer, I go through all the chakras, because all of them need things. So the God qualities of this ray, the first ray, which is the throat chakra, is omnipotence, protection, faith, will of God through the power of the Father. So that's what this is supposed to be all about. Corresponding chakra is the throat, color is blue. Corresponding stones, lapis lazuli, sapphire, peacock stone, blue lace agate. The Kohan of the first ray is Master El Moira. His retreat temple of goodwill is in Darjeeling, India. So if you go there, you can call on him, you can connect with his energy. Archangel of the first ray of divine complement is Michael and Faith. So those two are part of the throat chakra. And their retreat, the Temple of Faith, is in Banff, Lake Louise in Canada. So when you go there, you go in that vibration. Lots of people from around the world get attracted there all the time. When you go there, you'll feel this energy. And the last one is the Elohim of the first ray of divine complement is Hercules in Amazonia. And their retreat, the Half Dome, is in Sierra Nevada. So if you want to connect with that energy, this is where you could be anywhere in the world. And you know this, you can ask to go to these places when you meditate, when you go to sleep. And that's where you use astral traveling for the right reasons. You go to these schools, you go to these masters, you go to these teachers. You don't just go into somebody's bedroom or astral travel into their home in the day and do stuff. It's like, that's not what it's for. That's where the hubcap master wanted me to teach him all of this stuff, and he wanted to use it wrong. And I'm like, that's not what it's about. I don't teach that to people. If you're meant to have it, you're going to have it. But if you're using it wrong, remember, you're going to reap karma. Like people like astral traveling and trying to look in my mind and put things in, command spirits and whatever it is, and using all kinds of stuff and put stuff in me. I'm not a garbage can. And a lot of people never want somebody to do that to them, but they believe it's okay to do it to everybody. It doesn't work that way. Archangel Michael will not protect you if you do this to another human being. Not one angel, not one universal light being will do this. But if you want to use shields and mirrors and that, you can call on all kinds of entities and thought forms. They'll do every bad thing for you. They'll make you feel you're powerful. They'll get you to do stuff, and then you're just on that wheel of karma going round and around and around for thousands and thousands of lifetimes. It's your garbage can. You look in it, you clean it up. About Master El Moira. The Master El Moira has a great spiritual hierarchy of the Brotherhood of the Diamond Heart. His activity of service and life is to guard and protect the spiritual focus created as a heart center of world movement and religions, protecting whatever specific God ideas will benefit the human race and hasten its evolution. In addition, he is the chief of the Darjeeling Council of the Great White Brotherhood in India, Kohan of the First Ray in the hierarchy of the Etheric Temple of Goodwill. El Moira represents the divine attributes of the First Ray, which are courage, faith, initiative, dependability, divine power, self-reliance, and certainty. These are the qualities of the Father Principle. Embodiments of El Moira. He was Abraham, 2100 BC. He was the first Hebrew patriarch and progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. The next one, he was Melchior, Melchior. He was one of the three wise men at the birth of Jesus. Next one, he was King Arthur, 5th century AD. He became the leader of the mystery school of Camelot and guarded the inner teachings. And the next one, he was Thomas Becket, 1118 to 1170. He was the Lord Chancellor of England. And then the last one here is he was Sir Thomas More, 1478 to 1535. He was known as the man of all seasons. So this is where these beings, they can create, they can come into the world and take on a body, do something really big, and then go back into the light. They are masters. They're not fools. You can't lie and deceive them. They know everything. They can see your future thousands of years ahead. And this is where you gotta not use things in a way that's not good for somebody else, because what I read earlier in this book yesterday is every bad thing goes back to the person that does it. And there's a lot of bad people out there pretending to be good. The Temple of God's Will. The First Ray Temple is a magnificent white palace located in Darjeeling, India. From the steps of the palace, one looks out upon the grandeur of the majestic Himalayan mountains, their ever-rising crest of snow-covered peaks. The actual temple room is exquisite indeed. The altar, which holds the focus of the sacred flame of the first ray, is composed of radiant blue sapphire and diamonds. The carpeting is in electric blue. The windows are the finest stained glass. Those who enter the beautiful temple of El Moira gaze upon the royal blue flame and the diamond and sapphire altar. Kneeling before the hierarchy and touching the hem of his spiritual aura adds to the flame of the initiate's own cosmic momentum of loving, willing, and joyous, illumined obedience to God's will. And this is where you gotta respect all laws. Can't pretend they don't exist. You want to be a part of that fifth dimension in the future, you got to start doing right. And if you wrong people, you better tell the universe the truth about it. There is a great sense of warm welcome and a graciousness which radiates forth from his focus. His beautiful home and temple, situated in the hills outside the city of Darjeeling, is dedicated not only to God's will, but also to the promotion of national and world government based on the highest principles of God government. The purpose of keeping his retreat open is primarily to magnetize, sustain, and radiate the positive consciousness of God's will into the atmosphere of the earth and to counteract the negative acceptance and distortions created by human mind. Therefore, it is of vital importance to have a certain number of unascended souls drawing the particular virtues of the specific flame into the earth's atmosphere and sustaining it through devotion, constancy and application of the law. Without the presence of individuals in your dimension who willingly offer their time and energies to magnetize, sustain, and radiate the virtues of the Godhead in your sphere of vibration, there would be no there would be no stimulus to the divine spark within mankind to further its evolution constructively. Each disciple who tunes into the one of the seven rays becomes a radiating center of the particular virtue to which he consecrates himself, whether he is fully aware on the conscious level or not. And this is where our chakras are dialed into certain things, and we generate an energy. And you can see it in people's auric fields and energies. And that energy is there. So if you're really a channeler and you're really meant to be using your throat chakra, you're going to have real lots of that energy. And you will be channeling and things. You're not going to be doing light language and all kinds of other stuff. You're going to be actually working with divine beings. And they know this. In the native culture, we call it a hollow bone. You let the beings come through and they know what they need to do. Thus, the disciple becomes the hand, feet, and heart of the spiritual hierarchy to reach through the veil of human creation into the minds and hearts of men. Those who respond are accepted in the spiritual partnership between the hierarchy and the masses who are not yet cognized of the existence of the ascended and the angelic hosts, nor of the service of these great beings contribute to their evolution. And this is where on in my prayer I say for you to want to make your heart a sacred temple, your body a sacred temple, for God to see through you, speak through you, and hear through you. And I say that in my prayer every Sunday. And if you're going to be one of these beings, then you're going to allow this to come through and become, and it's going to change you and everybody. And people are going to want the same thing, and they're going to ask God, and then they will become it. Because when they ask, these teachers come in. That's why I'm like, you can be Jesus, you can be Buddha, you can be a master, you can be Saint Germain, because he'll give you all the knowledge. But he won't give it to you if you're going to do stupid things. And he won't open your chakras and heal and teach you these things if you're just going to harm. So this is where you get to choose it. When I say that prayer Sunday, there's lots of things in it. When I say it for people to allow the universe to come in and do their thing. Beloved Elmoira, along with the master Kuthumi and many other masters, are determined to bring to the Western world the knowledge of true evolved consciousness through the ascended master teachings. Transmissions from the heart of the beloved Elmoira. From my home and retreat in Darjeeling, I bring you the greetings of the Brotherhood of God's will, whose spiritual credo is I will. I also bring to you and the attributes of my diamond heart, which is rejoicing for its opportunity to share the multitude of diamonds my heart holds for those of you who are studying the limitless potentials of the sacred flames. The writings of this material has been planned by many of us of the spiritual hierarchy for almost a century. It was part of Ariel's contract with us before her incarnation to accomplish this task. You know, dear ones, the time to remain in the consciousness that keeps you bound to many challenges of your third dimension reality is soon coming to a close. And for all the complaining we hear from nearly all of you on the other side of the veil, we know that most of you, if not all, have had enough of life as it is on the surface, and you are welcoming the changes. But consider that the changes you are hoping to experience for yourself will not happen automatically. You have to create these first in your consciousness before they can materialize in your world. Your personal life experiences are always mirrors of your consciousness, no matter what is going on outside and around you. And this is where I try to teach about your mind and everything. And you're creating these things. Every day you wake up, you create these realities. And it's you who has to change. You have to figure it out. It's your puzzle. You already know that the Earth has chosen her ascension, and life on the planet, as you presently know it, soon will change drastically. Have you made yourself ready in your consciousness and in your God mastery to embrace, welcome, and adapt to all that is about to transpire on your planet? Are you ever so willing to detach yourself from the outmode and materialistic lifestyles that you are so accustomed to make room for all the positive changes that need to take place on the surface in order to usher in the new golden age of enlightenment? Are you willing to transform your fears into love in order to ride the wave of ascension with the earth in grace and dignity? And this is where it's your magic carpet ride. You can't bullshit. I know I'm going to do that. I know Cindy will do that. We've met a lot of people who think they're going to do that, but I know they won't. I know what their futures will be like because they don't want to change. They think they're powerful. They've done all kinds of bad things and they want everybody to believe they're angels, which is not a truth. Are you ready to roll up your sleeves, pull yourself out of your present complacency to take part in the creation of the new world? These are some of the questions you need to ask yourself and contemplate seriously in order to bring forth your mastery. And that's why I say see your future so you can manifest and create it. Don't play bullshit games and waste time in that. Like I say, you call on these beings, they will help you in lots of ways if you're being honest. You cannot become an ascended master simply by wishing it. You need to begin to practice thinking, talking, acting, and feeling like an ascended being in order to attain the vibration that will allow you to become one. This is what we teach you in the great inner temples and the temples of the flame. When you come at night during your sleep time and your soul remembers it in your daily life. That's why I say when you go to sleep, ask this. Do it. Even if you don't remember it, do it. Reflect on the priorities of your life at this moment. What interests or desires occupy your heart the most? Is becoming an ascended master through your ascension your greatest desire or priority? Are you setting aside each day enough time to commune and unite with the seat of your divinity within your sacred heart to gain full understandings of how to become it? In a former transmission that you will find again in this book, Adam suggests you cut all your to-do list in half and simplify your lives dramatically in order to consecrate more time of your spiritual advancement. Have you heeded this advice? This is where I spend years teaching people. I've taught people how to smudge, I've given smudge, I've talked for years and years and years, I've taught meditation, all kinds of things, and people still aren't practicing. They're still waiting for Jesus to blink. Are you choosing to create your ascension with the earth, or are you choosing to wait for the events to take place, simply hoping for the best? Besides your surrender to God's will, the God qualities you need to develop in order to pass the initiation of the first ray are courage, faith, initiative, dependability, consistency, self reliance, and self trust. And this is where you can't be codependent on anything. You can't be codependent on Archangel Michael. You can't be codependent on Jesus or Buddha. It doesn't work that way. They had to work to get their asses into that light. So why do you think they're just going to change your diapers and blink and put you somewhere if you're not willing to do the work? The sustaining of the earth in the planetary system is due to the love, the dedication of Sanata Kumra and other lords of the flame from Venus. They have kept the flame burning on behalf of humanity for hundreds of thousands of years. Now it is time for all of you to take the torch back, to take responsibility for yourself and for your planet, and return to the life a portion of what has been given you again and again for eons of time. This is where people don't give. Everybody takes now. There's no giving. Everybody has to have an agenda. And it's like I try to give, but 90% of the time I don't receive because people don't want to give. I don't tell them. I've been this way all my life. The first ray has a unique position in a great evolutionary plan of creation because this ray represents the initial impulse by which the ideas born of the heart and the mind of God are given to life. In general, humans in the third dimension do not like change, even it is for the better because it entails disturbing the status quo, habits, patterns, and traditions. The members of the first ray are fashioned in the purest fires from God's own heart, and the crucible in which they are forged is fed by the heart flame of the greatest being who stands around the sun itself. That's why when I pray, I always ask the beings that work with the sun and this universe receive their blessings. They know everything. They're not fooled. The day must come when the children of earth welcome and embrace the plan of God for this plane and demonstrate reverence for it and for all life. That's why you can't have armies. That's why you can't have all these things. Life is precious. You were born, you were given this gift. When you open your eyes every day, that's your gift. And you can't go around and harm anybody or anything anywhere at all. And one day we're going to all accept life is precious and there'll be no more killing on this planet. That I hope will end within the next 10, 20 years. It's time to pull our heads out of our behinds and change. When an individual dedicates himself to becoming a candidate for ascension or a teacher of the law, and his motive is to spread the light with purity of heart and transparency, not simply to make a living, we immediately unfold such a one under our wings of love and offer protection and guidance. That's why I say they protect us. We don't do it. One must learn to become a disciple before becoming a master. Believe in the gifts of your divinity, let your light shine, develop self-luminosity. That's where you got to allow your light to shine. You got to stop hiding. Got to stop being cowards. Got to stop, oh, it's so dark out there. Oh, I can't go to that meditation because that person is so dark. It's like, who cares? Go there and blind them with your light. I love going places and just blasting people with light, negative people. Sun dances anywhere. I call in the universe and I just blast people with light. Yeah, I got lost here, so I was reading and then I'm like, what did I read and where was I at? Okay, I'll go back here again. Reflect on the properties of your life at this moment. Oh, that I know I done that. Okay, first ray, unique position. So I'll go back. First ray has a unique position in the great evolutionary plan of creation because this ray represents the initial impulse by which the ideas born of the heart and mind of God are given to life. Yeah, I said some of the Qumran, right? Yeah. Okay. In general, humans in the third dimension do not like change, even if it is for the better, because it entails disturbing the status quo, habits, patterns, and traditions. The members of the first way are fashioned in the purest fires from God's own heart, and the crucible which they are forged in is fed by the heart flame of the greatest beings who stand around the sun itself. The day must come when the children of earth welcome and embrace the plan of God for this plane and demonstrate reverence for it and for all life. In order to be admitted to the fifth dimension, it is imperative that you express anew your unconditional obedience to the great love, wisdom, power of this celestial hierarchy. You can't order them around. That's why I get a kick out of when people call him Archangel Michael. And he's just standing there with his blazing flame. And they're just like, oh, so glorious. And I'm like, man, you guys are fools. It's really, really funny when people do that. In order to be admitted to the fifth dimension, it is imperative that you express anew your unconditional obedience to the great love, wisdom, power, and celestial hierarchy. In the higher dimensions, there is no democracy. The ones who have attained the greatest spiritual development are the ones who qualify to govern in a system of hierarchies, planetary, galactic, and universal, all the way to the Creator Himself. When an individual dedicates himself to becoming a candidate for ascension or a teacher of the law, and his motives is to spread the light with purity of heart and transparency, not simply to making a living, we immediately unfold such a one under our wings of love and offer protection and guidance. One must learn to become a discipline before becoming a master. Believe in the gifts of your divinity, let your light shine, develop self-luminosity. Let the light become the aura of the earth until the karmic board itself may say, it is enough. Already the earth shines. Already her song joins the music of the spheres. Already her people have contemplated their curriculum of evolution. Time, everyone wants time to do things now. Let's do them this instant. Procrastination has caused the sinking of more continents, the destruction of more golden ages, and the delay of more victories in the eternal tomorrow. The average person does not begin to set his soul in order until he is on the brink of the grave. And that's where people wait till they're just dying, and then all of a sudden they accept God and they want to heal and they want to be forgiven and that, but they spend their whole lives being assholes doing wrong. I've seen many people lying on their deathbeds, scared out of their mind, trying to do confession, anything, saying they're sorry to people and everything. And they waited till that last time and see it all the time. Procrastination has caused the sinking of continents, destruction of more golden ages, and delayed more victories in the eternal tomorrow. The average person does not begin to set his soul in order until he is on the brink of the grave, procrastinating, satisfying the senses, putting himself off until tomorrow that which can be done today. Hear me well. If you can be self-illuminous in 100 years, you can also be self-illuminous now. That's why I'm like, start letting your light shine. Start connecting into these things. Start wanting to practice. Stop the bullshit excuses. I walked the way of the earth not too long ago. I knew the love and beauty and also knew the trials of the flesh, because I am called the preceptor of God's will and the disciplinarian of souls, from which many men and women shrink in heart. There are those in your realm who think that I do not appreciate beauty. These ways of thinking by humans are so often very strange to us. Beauty and order are heaven's first law. In my home in Darjeeling there is and shall remain always both beauty and order. Disorder is not part of my nature, nor that of the particular brotherhood. Disorder of person or surroundings is an eternalization of human disorder in mind, feeling, etheric consciousness, and just plain laziness, in which everybody is. Give me my wine. I want to sit back and suck on my wine. You know? Always got lots of time for that, but nothing else. I think I'll go and get a $200 bottle of wine and sit all day and just be so special. So disciplinary of soul, from which men and women shrink in heart, there are those in your realm who think that I do not appreciate beauty. These ways of thinking by humans are so often very strange to us. Beauty, the orders are heaven's first law. In my home Darjeeling there is and shall remain always both beauty and order. Disorder is not part of my nature, nor that of the particular brotherhood. Disorder of a person or surroundings is the externalization of human disorder in mind, feeling, etheric consciousness, and just plain laziness. In your own life, you will find that when you bring order and beauty into the world, you will progress more happily. For order and beauty brings grace, and grace brings you perception you never knew you had. These perceptions internalize make you the person God in action here on earth. Now awake and come out of the soul sleep. Let enthusiasm spin again within your various bodies. Let those little electrons spin around again around the atom. I fire you with enthusiasm for the love of God to bring this earth back home with all its lovely spring flowers, with all the summer grace, with everything that lives on it. I urge you to do whatever you can to assist the ascension of our beloved Mother Earth and your own ascension in the light. Bring our Earth back home. Bring the little four-footed creatures and all that lives back home for Saint Germain's sake, that this earth may become freedom's holy star. The relationship between the master and the disciple is very close. 1, the master accepts the consciousness of the disciple into his own sphere of influence. That's why you call in your teachers. They know who you are. They know what they need to teach you. You can't tell them. They're way older and wiser than you. You need to want to learn and be obedient. The master accepts the consciousness of the disciple into his own sphere of influence so that he can be aware of activities, thoughts, and feelings of the disciple. In other words, the disciple lives in the house of his Lord, dining at his table and partaking of the hospitality of his household. This is an invitation, beloved of my heart. I am El Moira, your friend of light forever, and if welcome, my presence shall follow you each step until the hour of your final and glorious victory in the light, when we will welcome you once again among the immortals. And this is what they show the throat chakra flower looks like. So the prayer for the first ray healing, it says God's will praying. In the name of God I am, I invoke the presence of beloved Master El Moira, Archangel Michael, and all ascended masters and angels of the blue flame, love of God's will to guide and protect me daily and hourly. Archangel Michael, come into my life. Help me overcome all densities with your sword of blue flame. Cut me loose and set me free from all negativity and errors of the past. That's what he's going to do. He's not just going to stand around holding a glowing sword for nothing. I ask for a shaft of blue lightning of divine love to be established over my being, over my home, my family, my work, and all my affairs. I call the guidance I need to manifest God's will in all aspects of my life to fulfill my divine purpose here on the earth. I claim for God's will to manifest everywhere on the earth as it is in the realms of light and freedom. Then the discourse from Adam and El Moira. Adam speaks to us of the blue flame of the will of God. He explains the spiritual benefits of surrender to the divine will and offers a wonderful meditation which gives us great understandings of the word surrender. Ariella is going to question Adam. So we'll read those and somewhere we'll get to the meditation. So Ariella, I feel inside myself a great excitement because I know that something big is in the making on the planet. I also know that the energy is shifting quite rapidly now and the veils of separation between dimensions are gradually thinning out. The ascended masters are in closer proximity and increasing personal contact with us, more so than any time before in thousands of years. If I compare how things used to be when I was a child or in my 20s to how they are now, they are quite a silver line forming on the horizon, even if the dark clouds are not yet completely dispelled. Everyone is beginning to feel a change. That is what I wish to share. As we allow this unfoldment to take place, embracing all the steps, there is much magic in it. It takes me a while to see and feel it, but now I really feel it. I know those of us who are working as teachers directly with the beings from the other side of the veil are here to show the way to those seeking to create a better world than the one we have grown accustomed to. But ultimately, your life is your own journey, and no matter how much assistance is offered, no one can assume your journey for you. That's where you have to choose all the time. They will work with you, but they are not going to force you to do anything. And it says, the 5 to 6 years will be the most important, crucial. So this is where in the past she was asking all about these changes. Crucial years you have ever lived on this planet. They will determine what you will become and where you will go to be in the cosmic future. The planet and humanity have now reached the end of a major cosmic cycle. That's why I say we're ending an epoch. We're going into the age of Aquarius, which is 1,000 years of enlightenment, change, science, knowledge. Real lots of things are going to start happening, and we're going to move forwards really fast. We're already in the age of Aquarius. I believe we've been in it for 200 years. I can be wrong, but things started way back, and all of this stuff is now happening. The planet and humanity have now reached the end of a major cosmic cycle. The Earth, along with those of humanity's choosing it, is now moving into a new cycle of enlightenment evolution. And you, as a soul evolving on her body, are now faced with the most important choices you will ever make. It is now that you have to choose if you want to come along with the Earth into a brand new reality of love and light, or stay behind for another long round of incarnation in the third dimension. It is up to you to decide if you want to experience the new world here or move on to another third dimensional planet in another universe and continue to experience life the way it is here right now, with all the limitations and challenges that third dimensional life offers. And this is where a lot of people, they're just waiting, they're sitting on the fence and they're like, oh, one day I'll just do it. No, you're going to wake up on a different planet and you're going to be reincarnating for a long, long time. The Earth really deserves her glorious ascension. The bells of her own graduation to the new cosmic cycle are now ringing. After all, she has shown infinite love and tolerance towards humanity, who has not shown in return much gratitude. She offered her body so unconditionally to allow us the opportunity to experiment with free will. The question to ask ourselves now is, do I choose to come along to the next level, or do I want to stay behind? What realities are you really choosing to create and embrace for yourself in a few short remaining years? I constantly hear people mention they are so caught up in their day-to-day life that as much as they claim to want to do their spiritual and healing work for the benefit of their evolution, it is always put off for another time. They say, well, I'll do it tomorrow, or next month, or perhaps next year, when things change a little, or when I have more money, or when I do this, or when my life slows down a little bit. Then I will have more time to do my healing and my spiritual work. Do you realize that time waits for no one, and we are now at the important threshold of change? What the ascended masters, Adam, Sananda, Maitreya, Archangel Michael, Saint Germain, and all other masters are telling us is that the time is now. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, more important than your personal, spiritual, and healing work. Everything else is a distraction to keep you away from the real goal of your incarnation here. The positive changes you are so longing for will only become a reality in your personal life as a result of the work. Bottom line, there is no other way around it. Nothing will change in your life unless you change it yourself. This is your job. This is what you came here to do in this life. If you don't want to do it, no one else can do it for you. That's where I say, I'll give you knowledge. You make the decision. You decide. Yes, we do have to attend to the many obligations of our daily lives, but ultimately, that will really count and make the difference for you in the next few years is not so much what you have done, but what you have become. That's why I'm choosing to do these TikToks every morning and on Sunday. When I do all kinds of other things, I choose it because I believe it's helping and changing things. That's my purpose, is to teach and help people. Contemplate this. What we do comes and goes in the passage of time, but what we become as divine beings, embracing our divinity from the perspective of human experience, remains with us for eternity. And that's truth. Like I say, when you leave this planet, all you're going to have is your memories. You need to change that. You need to want to live for millions of years. You need to want to become this light. Stop looking for the darkness and stupidity. Adam is here. He is patiently waiting for me to finish talking. Perhaps he is wondering who has been invited to speak here today, him or me, and laughs. Adam, greetings, my beloved friends. I am speaking to you this day from the elegant home of Telos, but I am also with you at the same time. So his energy comes through when I'm reading all of this. All these other masters' energies are coming through. They're watching, listening, they're trying to see what you guys want, what you're choosing, what you're doing. They won't push it on you. But you make the right choices, things will happen. We have with us today a silent partner in the person and the awesome presence of our dear friend Elmora. We both want to convey our deep love to all of those connecting with our hearts through this sharing. Today I would like to talk about the will of God as a path of surrender. You see, with the will of God, you are not going very far on your path of evolution. Without the will of God, you are not going very far on the path of evolution. This is the very first step, the initiation of the first temple that must be mastered before you can progress into the other steps on the path. If you are not willing to surrender to the great will of your being, the will of your own divine source, how will you recognize your new home? If you are not willing to surrender to that which is seeking to bring you all the way back home, the home of your divine perfection, joy, bliss, limitless, your lost paradise, then how do you expect to ever get there? The will of God is not a God outside you. It is simply the God that you are and that you have always been. Although when you are in the physical incarnation, you tend to temporarily forget. Your divine presence is totally omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent, and can fulfill all your desires instantly. You have temporarily forgotten that you are nothing less than an expression of the great I Am, incarnated in the human experience. You came here with the agenda to attain soul perfection, expand your own divinity to the fullness of your God mastery and wisdom. You are here seeking advanced enlightenment and total spiritual freedom. You are here to become an unlimited God in all planes of existence. This is the agenda of love for self, and the self is no one but you. Many of you are still so caught up in your mundane affairs you are not seeking to attain the goals you have incarnated for. For too many of you, the affairs of your soul path and the soul evolution have become the last concern on your agenda. That's why I say you got to take yourself to your highest soul existence you're meant to do in this lifetime. Every person. I want to do that. I want to go up. I want to ascend. I want to be 1,000,000 years old. I want to be in the fifth dimension. All these things. And I'm going to do everything to get there. Nobody is stopping me. This is my choice. No one else's. Well, my dear friends, when you are consciously putting aside the true goals of your incarnation for the sake of monetary human pursuits, your life turns out to reflect something very different than what you have envisioned for your life experience prior to your incarnation. Once back on the other side of the veil, as you view the life you just left, there is always deep regret. There is a profound desire to receive another opportunity for incarnation to fulfill all the soul's desires you have denied in your present life. And this is where a lot of people do that. And this is how the merry-goes-round of endless cycles of incarnation for souls to keep repeating itself again and again. Your divine presence with great patience and compassion has granted you thousands of opportunities. For many of you, each time you come here, you ignore the reasons for your coming. Lifetime after lifetime, you did not meet the goals you set for your incarnation. This is also why you are still here facing so many challenges instead of enjoying the bliss of the light realms. You will keep coming back again and again until you finally surrender to the longings of your own soul. Your divine presence has watched you suffer, search, and work endlessly for many lifetimes. It has observed your pain, your despair, your hopelessness, your fear, your tears, your doubts, your shames, your terrors. It has witnessed the great wisdom that was gained in each of these incarnations, individually and for the whole of creation. It is longing now to bring you home to freedom, to love, to mastery, to oneness, and to all that you are as a divine being. Its yearnings to bring you back home, but it cannot force you. It requires your willingness, your intention, and your cooperation. So it yearns to bring you back. And this is what this 8th, ninth, 10th chakra, this higher oversoul energies, is trying to do. This is what Jesus became. This is what Buddha and many, many other ascended masters and things. Seven sacred flames. It should be there when I come on. It should say that I'm doing this. Me and Cindy put it there. So it's yearning to bring you back home, but it cannot force you. It requires your willingness and your intention and your cooperation. It requires that you embrace all parts of yourself that you abandon and hated along the way of your many incarnations. That's where we've had many, many lifetimes. And in other lifetimes, we were real assholes too. We weren't always good people. Yeah, well, hopefully you will heal, Beatrice, and get better. It requires that you embrace all parts of yourself that you abandon and hated along the way of your incarnations. Your God self is calling you now to surrender to the path that is laid before you, day by day with love and trust. Only through the loving surrender, step by step, you will be shown the way back to the sun of your being, your divine perfection. So I'm going to read a few more pages and then I'm going to take a break and Cindy will come in. So the next one said, this is why surrender to the will of your own divinity is such a divine grace to bestow upon yourself. And this is where people, like I say, they learn. It is you who will be a great beneficiary of this grace. Someday you will wonder why you have waited so long to finally come home. Someday you will realize that you really never have had to suffer. It was your choice. It was your resistance to the love that created all the pain and lessons that you have experienced for so long. It is now time to embrace a way of life that will nurture and embrace all of you instead of the one that diminishes you. When you surrender, it is the human ego, also known as the altered ego, that gradually transforms back into the original consciousness of your divine nature. As you surrender to the process of cleansing and healing yourself with absolute trust, without judgment, without fear, you can get through this rather quickly. The process reveals itself to be much less painful than it would be if you fight it all the way. The first step always is the hardest, the most overwhelming part of the path. Trust that once you have taken the step, the rest is much easier. When you resist what is best for your pathway, your soul will simply allow you to have your own way for a while, until you can't stand it anymore. Time is not of the essence for the soul, but we, the masters of light, know that all of you have suffered on the planet long enough. We invite you now to choose a more joyful destiny. In Telos, it is with great interest that we watch the reactions of thousands of people who read our information in the first 3 volumes of Telos book series. We have watched so many who experience great heart openings. Your ancient memories have been awakened. We have watched the tears of hope and longing that nearly all of you have experienced when reading the material about our lives in Telos and Lemuria. You have become aware that a different type of life is not only possible on this planet, but in the making for those embracing transformation through self-love and spiritual wisdom. That's why Jesus says, heal thyself. In the Bible, he says it over and over and over. And it's about healing your own self. If you can do this, you can help others. and you have to become a teacher. And that's where Jesus said in Sanskrit in his time, I am a Messiah. He said, I am a teacher. And he says, if you understand my life, if you read the Bible and understand his whole life, you will understand and know what to do. And he says in the end times, and he even talked about his own reincarnation, like he knew all of this stuff. These people aren't fools. They're not idiots. And you can't pretend you were an angel all your lifetimes. You have to recognize what is your garbage can. You have lots from other lifetimes. And that's where you look at all of this and get the help from the universe to change and heal it all. With our assistance, this is what we are inviting you to do. Today, we have already trodden the path ourselves, and this is where they can teach you this, thus opening the way for you to follow into our footsteps. We hold our hands out to you, offering to assist you forwards, because we are here for you now, and the way will be much easier for you than it was for us. For all those desiring to join with us and share this type of life we enjoy, the path of love and surrender is the key to your homecoming. The whole idea is to gain knowledge. And when you really, really have knowledge, that's where things change. That's where your inner reality, your outer reality. It's like I like watching people who pretend to be Christians. And you'll hear them going around and they say, in the name of Jesus. They really like saying that all the time. Some of them even carry Bibles and they'll yell things. I've heard them say, in the name of the blood, in the name of this, in the name of that. And I tell a story about when I went to a church down on Skid Row when I lived in Edmonton. And I used to go in there every now and then and I'd listen and I'd say my prayers and things. And I was going to AVC at the time trying to get grade 12s because I wanted to go to college and university. And so I go to this church every so often. And there were people at the school who were there and they found out that I was into native spirituality. I was into astrology. I was into I Ching. I was into a lot of different things, just learning all kinds of stuff. And one day, one of them told the preacher in the church that, I go to native healing circles and I do all kinds of stuff. I practice astrology and things. So one day at school, the person asked me, are you coming to church this Sunday, Joe? And I'm like, what are you guys up to? They're all sitting there all with their Bibles and they're all talking really loud. Says, yeah, I'll come by the church Sunday. Oh, well, really good. We'll see you there, Joe. And I'm like, what are you idiots up to? So I go to the church on Sunday and I sit where I always do. I come in and I sit in that back pew. And I'm sitting there and the preacher sees me and everybody in there is holding their breath, waiting for him. And he says, you, come here. So I'm like, me? And he's like, yeah. So I walk all the way up and he's standing at the pulpit. And he is talking about these verses in the Bible and that. And then he says, so do you go to those things down here at this building? Do you practice with these natives at these healing circles and that? I'm like, yeah. He says, do you go and do their sweat lodges? I'm like, yeah. Do you talk to the things like they talk to crystals and all kinds of things? I'm like, yeah. And I says, in the Bible, it says God made everything. So everything has the energy of God. Everything is from there. And then he is like, do you practice astrology? I'm like, yeah. And he's looking at me. I'm like, didn't the three magi in the Bible use astrology and that's how they proved who Jesus was and they saw it in the stars and all this other stuff and they prophesied this? And then he says, so are you into numerology? I'm like, yeah, it's like in Bible, there's numerology in Bible where you use numbers that tell you things and they talk about it in the Bible. And then he asked me a bunch of other things and I told the truth about everything. And he says, come with me. I'm like, okay. So he walks me all the way down right to the door. He opens it and he takes me and he shoves me out the door. And he says, don't you ever come back in here. And he slams it. I'm like, and then he went back up there and he's yelling, in the name of Jesus. And that whole church just went into this uproar and they're all just yelling and screaming, Archangel Michael. And they cast the devil out of the church and everything. And I'm like, but I believe in all of that. I understand who Joshua ben Joseph, all these masters and people. It's not terrible. These people are idiots. They're not. Jesus was never a Christian. The Bible is like being used to kill and destroy. And he wants to throw me out of the church saying I'm evil and that there's something wrong with the psychopath. Can't you guys realize this in this story, how idiotic these Christians are? Walking around in the name of Jesus, in the name of the blood. Oh, I'll kill anybody and anything. That's a psychopath. These people are crazy. And they love doing that. They sit around and they take out their Bibles in their homes and they do Sunday prayer and all of this. And then all week they go and fight and curse and drink and rape and abuse. And then they come back on Sunday and they're Christians again. What the hell is wrong with that? And this is where I tell this story. It's not about, oh, it was terrible. I don't give a shit. They're idiots. This is where these books, they speak the truth. This is where you start realizing the truth. Jesus or Joshua ben Joseph or whoever he was, Sananda or whatever, wants you to become him. But in the churches, they don't want you. You can never be Jesus. You can never be a master. You can never be a God. You can never be anything. And I know so many idiots and assholes that run around and confess to being these really good Christians, yelling and screaming all this foolishness, and they're the worst assholes you can find on this planet. I got a godmother that speaks in tongues. She doesn't know what the hell she's saying. And I'm like, I don't want her doing that around me because I don't know if some dark force is getting her to curse me. And people are doing light language and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, what the hell are people doing? People don't stop to think. And these practices in this book is going to attract this light and this truth to you. And in the end, you're going to become it. To be in the fifth dimension and in the future with this planet, you have to become everything. It's not a game. It's not bullshit. And like I say, I've been thrown out of 5 different churches. I didn't do anything wrong. I was very honest about what I practice, what I believe. Because God created native spirituality. He created the natives. He gave them their practices. They know the understanding of God in every other thing. And this is where natives have to wake up and start helping and teaching. But natives say, oh no, it's my power. I can't teach that, And I'm like, that's full of shit. And this is where people have to get out of all these biases and they got to find what is really the truth. And that's all I'm trying to help you guys do, by giving you answers, by reading these books. You decide to practice it. Because if you really do, I'll see you in the future in the 5th dimension. If you're full of shit, I won't see you there. We have reached a level of divine grace we are experiencing today in our lives only because a long time ago we surrendered to that divine will. By doing so, our lives were gradually transformed, and yours will also. And this is where they mastered it, and they want to teach you how to become them. What we had to do, we did under circumstances that were much more difficult and painful than the situations you're presently experiencing. Let me say something about our passage to the light 12,000 years ago. You might be surprised to know that after the destruction of our continent, we all had to work out our issues in the same manner as it required for you to do at this time. Consider that overnight we lost everything we ever owned, everything we ever identified with as Lemurians, and most painful of all, we were separated abruptly from nearly everyone we had ever loved. All the beauty of Lemuria, all our works of the ages, all the aspects of our day-to-day lives had suddenly vanished. Then it says, all that was left was ourselves, the divine aspect, the self that we had to surrender to in order to receive again everything from our Creator. Telos was then in a primary stage of development and certainly not the glorious and beautiful city it has now become. It was a large cave inside a mountain that we endeavored to restore as a city in order to save a small percentage of our people. After the cataclysm, Telos was all that was left of our culture. The city of Telos was still in its prime state compared to the beauty and ease that exists on the surface of what it is at the present time. Understand that overnight we had to surrender our lives to a much different standard of living, which was quite difficult for a long time, having to forge a completely new life for ourselves. With great courage and determination, we continued to build our cities, not only for ourselves, but also as a point of contact for future generations. Who will be born again here within the Lemurian culture, having lost everything except ourselves? We worked very hard for centuries, healing the wounds of our losses and forging something new and more permanent. It would require several volumes to narrate all the difficult challenges we had to face. Our homecoming, a very long time, my dear friends, was not as simple as you might imagine. You are on easy street, so to speak, compared to the obstacles we had to overcome. We ask you not to be dismayed by what you are going through in your lives, but rather to surrender to the process. Surrender with willing acceptance to the events that will take place on the planet. And that's where we're going through all these prophecies in the Bible, and everything's going to happen. People think aliens are going to come and just all of a sudden turn us into angels. No, that's not going to happen. Everything that's going on is going to push us through some really craziness. We'll come out the other end. We ask you not to be a dismay of what is going on through in your lives, but rather to surrender to the process. Surrender with willing acceptance to the events that will take place on your planet. They will come for the purpose of your deliverance from the chains you have created. Simply open your heart to love and trust that your passage to the light, as it was with us, will not manifest without your conscious and sustained effort. Be assured the rewards will be manifested for those who will endeavor to or endure to the end. And it says the will of God is known as the first ray activity, and it resonates with the blue vibration. And this is where the throat chakra, and if you're speaking the truth, then all of this is coming through. And this is where people don't want that. And they project out things, they do all kinds of stuff to stop. The negative side is always trying to shut down the light. It's spent thousands and thousands of years doing it. And everybody's afraid of it, so they just empower it. I come on here every day to try to find a way to help all of you shift and change that reality. The blue ray is a beautiful peacock to royal blue color. Its frequency is vibrant, alive, and cleansing. It is connected with the diamond heart, like many diamonds, and surrenders to this divine will has many facets. Archangel Michael is a blue ray angel. Almoira is a blue ray master. The guardians of the diamond heart of the will of God. The blue ray is a ray of divine power and leadership. And that's where you'll see in people's auras, you'll see lots of blue. When Miranda comes on, she sees the purple and blue that's around me. She says that's what she sees. Many other people see this. That means I'm of a higher vibration up here, not this three lower chakras, which are the earth low energies. The base chakra, the sacral, and the solar plex. Those are earth energies. These ones, throat, third eye, and crown, and higher, are universal. And you can see it in people's auras. And you can't steal it and you can't take it. And this is where somebody with some sort of negative thoughts in that is like, they don't want this heard, they don't want it understood, and they're projecting negative energies. And if you look at my throat chakra, you'll see all kinds of crap going on by all kinds of negative things. People do this all the time. Like I say, I have angels and guardians around me. I never worry about it. I think people are stupid, and when this goes back on them, they'll say everybody did it to them, but it's their own bullshit, nobody else's. Pink is the heart chakra. If you understand the pink energies and you work with it, If person is pink, then there's a reason for it. And these violet flames all have these colors. And if you understand them, you know what to do. And that's why I'm reading this, so you know the 7 flames. And when you see these colors with people, you'll understand. Just because you have the color doesn't mean anything. You need the knowledge. The blue ray is a ray of divine power and leadership, the ray of power through the spoken and silent word, connected with the throat chakra. It is also the ray that is most misused by humanity. Each time you are speaking words of love and compassion, each time you are not speaking words of love and compassion, you are misusing the energies of the ray. Each time you attempt to control or manipulate in order to have your own way, you are misusing the energy of the blue ray. Be aware, the misuse of this energy is often performed in very subtle ways, so subtle in fact that you are not even aware of it unless you begin to monitor from your heart all your words, actions, and motives. This is where you become conscious of everything. The rays are part of the basic curriculum that you have to master. And you can't just tell somebody, oh yeah, I know the 7 chakras. There's way more to it than just saying, oh yeah, I'm a Reiki master and I know 7 chakras. Because say this book gives you all kinds of answers to this. The rays are part of the basic curriculum that you have to master for this phase of your evolution. You have to master the God attribute of all the 7 rays equally. So you got to master every chakra. And now also the other 5 secret chakras. And those other 5 are energy chakras out here. There is not one that is more important, greater or lesser than the other. They need to be mastered, balanced, and understood equally. In different lifetimes, you may not always be working on the same ray. You are endeavoring to integrate and gain the wisdom of all the rays. You are originally created on one of the rays, and this ray remains your permanent ray. It is also called the monadic ray. So if people could really see mine, they'll see what ray I am on, and I've been that since I came into this world. From the time I was a baby up to now until into the future, it doesn't change. In different lifetimes, you may not always have been working on the same ray. You are endeavoring to integrate and gain wisdom of all the rays. You were originally created on one of the rays. This ray remains your permanent ray. It is also called the monadic ray. But just because you may have been originally created as, for example, a blue ray soul or a yellow or green ray soul, it doesn't mean that you will be working on that one ray in every lifetime. In each lifetime, you also strive to gain a greater mastery in 2 of the rays and balance the others in oneness. You will do this until you have mastered and balanced all the rays at deeper and deeper levels. And that's where you got to go deeper and deeper into your chakras. And people just want to erase the chakra and think they're done. No, it's a lot of stuff to do. And until you have passed all required initiations for ascension, and you want to do this to be in the future in the 5th dimension. People come here on the earth plane for a very purpose of forging their spiritual mastery. And that's why you got to stop trying to run around with the Bible and yell in the name of Jesus. He's not going to blink for you. If you don't own up to your shit, like I say, you're just going to reincarnate until one day you wake up and decide you want to change and stop all of that. Unless you diligently work at it, it simply does not happen. This is why you have chosen to incarnate so many times. You cannot expect to gain full mastery of the divine by simply wishing it or by association. And this is what lots of people teach nowadays. If you think it, that's what you become. No, it's not a truth. You have to practice things. It does not work this way. The perfection and refinement of the soul is accomplished through a series of incarnations in the 3rd dimension. For those of you who live with the illusion that space brothers are going to come to rescue you, hoping to escape doing your spiritual work to evolve your consciousness, you are setting yourself up for a big disappointment. Those thinking you are simply going to be taken unconditionally into the light realm, I say revise your thinking. That's where Jesus ain't gonna blink. You ain't gonna be in heaven. Don't work that way. Those thinking that you are simply going to be taken unconditionally into the light realm, I say revise your thinking. The Space Brothers are not allowed to come and rescue you, and there is no need for rescue because you have created the lifetime that you are now living for the explicit purpose of soul growth. In every lifetime you incarnate back on the earth because of the personal choice you make. You have never been forced to come back here. That's why I get a kick out of people. Oh, I'm done with this earth. Oh, I'm done with this. Oh, I'm finished. And they just bark all of this stuff. And I'm like, man, you're fools. What? You're going to reincarnate back and you're going to keep doing this until you figure it out. In each and every lifetime, you choose the goals and experiences of your incarnation for the purpose of evolving your consciousness to gain greater mastery. When you are on the other side between incarnations, fully aware of all you left undone during your last incarnation, you truly want to return to align to the fullness and fulfill all the goals that were not met. You ask for another opportunity again and again until you feel you have completed this phase of your evolution. Each time you arrive here in physical body, the veil of forgetfulness is activated. You feel trapped and cut off, totally immersed in the illusion again. Life on this planet has known many cycles of hardship for humanity because the consciousness of people living on the surface dropped to such a low level of separation from divine principles. Separation took place as far as it can go. The lessons learned, the experience gathered, the knowledge added to the whole has been amazing. This situation is now gradually changing with enormous and unprecedented assistance from the light realm, from the Space Brothers, and from civilizations of the Earth's interior. Separations into the third dimension took place as an experiment to understand how souls would react once they would be totally cut off from God. All of you here in physical body have volunteered for the cosmic project. Otherwise, you would not be here. That's why you created this life. That's why you created your mom, your dad, your friends, every goddamn thing wherever you are. You did that. You're responsible. This great experiment you so excitedly volunteered to participate in from the various worlds and universes you all came from had a beginning time frame and an ending one, which happened millions of years ago. This grand experiment has assisted people on the earth in becoming strong and courageous souls, and because of their great sacrifice, the souls of the earth are now being lifted into greater glory, forging for themselves a destiny a destiny so grand. You are destined to become the showcase of this universe and the teachers of the new civilizations to be born. And this is what this earth did. It's changing everything in creation. It's doing all kinds of stuff. And we are meant to be the teachers, the ones that ascend in everything into the fifth dimension and into the future. We are going to do all kinds of things, and we're the new teachers. But don't fool yourself by telling everybody you're going to be in the fifth dimension if you want to sit around drinking wine and going to silly ceremonies and waving a Bible around yelling in the name of Jesus. As you align yourself with the will of God through surrender, you are destined to become among the most in-demand souls everywhere in this and other universes. Planet Earth, which has experienced the greatest amount of darkness and pain, will soon be lifted to a state of great love and light, a way shower for others to learn from. In truth, there is really no other place like Earth. Be proud and hopeful to be a citizen of the planet. You have suffered long enough. It is now time to come home. It is with wondrous anticipation that we are waiting to greet you and to hold you in our arms. We long to welcome you back to the valley of love, where the valley of tears has become the valley of joy. Then it says, as you peel off the many layers of hurt and trauma from past, you will discover that you have a lack of trust in God and Spirit, and for you surrender to the divine will is a fearful purpose. A fearful proposal. And this is where people are really afraid. That's why they're chasing everything instead of just stopping and going, wow, I'm going to change all of this. You feel that you have been betrayed and abandoned in this and in other lifetimes, and you enter into a state of fright. This is the core issue that has been part of the original fall of consciousness. The original separation from the divine source created pain. Pain when created the world that you now live in. Separation allowed for all manifestations of individuation necessary to create the experience you have had on this planet. How can you truly know God and yourself without experience of the feelings of not knowing God? What first started all the little fears and doubts eventually become the lack of trust in God and yourself. And this is where you've had many lifetimes. You can't bullshit. We all got fears. We all got different kinds of things we're trying to figure out. And you have to enjoy. Why did you come here? What is your purpose? So slowly getting towards the end of this. I want to try to finish it. So your test now is to allow yourself to trust the divine again and to reverse the consciousness that caused a separation from God for so long. The universe is a loving and benevolent place and will provide everything for you when you trust. The fall gradually took place when a few souls in incarnation began questioning if God was always going to continue providing for them. After several million years, when your Creator always provided everything for everyone, without fail, many people allowed doubt to filter their consciousness and began contemplating what would happen if this suddenly stopped. They allowed themselves to fall into the consciousness that if God should stop providing, they would have to start providing for themselves. This distorted concept was the first held by only a few and eventually was communicated to the masses. The fears that gave birth to the lack of trust then became more and more amplified until almost the whole human race completely gave up their divine birthright. The rest is history. Surrender to God's will presents to the soul the initiations, the opportunity to restore this divine birthright. This is what you have to heal now, the lack of trust. To do so takes courage and commitment, stepping off the dock of what is known into the deep still waters of the unknown is the ultimate act of trust. Let your heart listen to the call of your soul, and you will know that choice that you can make now. You will know your true purpose here on earth at this time of acceleration and evolution. When you choose to not trust, God allows you to experience and many consequences that came with this choice, so that you could learn the wisdom from it. The fear that people have of trusting God is making a commitment to the higher self that you want to return home, to make your ascension, to gain your mastery. This requires that you clear all the issues of your human creation. That's why you got to clean up many, many lifetimes of stuff. In the process, your higher self brings into the experience all the shadow material you have created throughout the ages. These issues must be looked at in order to give you the opportunity to make new choices in love and trust rather than fear. All issues needing to be aligned and understood at any residual karma needing to be cleared are brought to your experience. The facing of all of this can be temporarily challenging. You may think, I made a commitment to start trusting God, and my life has become more challenging. And then you choose again to fall back into the cycle of distrust. The path is to allow whatever will be presented to you and to witness it, even if it is difficult for a while. No matter what the appearances are in your life, even if your life becomes temporarily more difficult, Trust that you are on a new road and that energy will finally shift. Compared to millions of years of mistrust you have expressed towards your Creator, this homecoming to your true self can manifest rather quickly. This think of a think of think of Job in the scriptures. He was severely tested, but he continued to trust, and when he was able to prove to God that he would continue to trust in spite of everything he had lost, including his health, his wife and children, all was restored back to him and much more. But first he had to journey through the dark night of the soul, and so will you. And he had to go through 40 years or so of crap. I've gone through a lifetime of crap. Allow yourself the process of going through the dark night. Finally face all that you have hidden in the shadows for so long. Do it without any judgment or attachment, because it is in these shadows that you will recover all your gifts. You will remember the attributes of your divine birthright. And your full energies will be restored to you. You will once again trust your Creator as you surrender in total love will become your rescue and not your despair. And this is where some people are going through, like they're losing their businesses, they're getting sick, people are dying, bad things are happening. Just keep pushing forwards. Somewhere everything is going to flip around. That's where I'm like, every day I get closer to all of my happiness, all my good blessings. So I'd rather walk through all the shit now and get it done. So when I get there, I can live and enjoy life. All of humanity is basically experiencing the same path of evolution. There's no need for shame or regret, because in truth, you all have the same issues. Your current experience may look different, and it is the same way for everyone. Lack of trust, separation from your source, have created this long journey of suffering. Now resurrect yourself fully through love and trust. When you can finally say, I will let go of my own misconceptions and fears and trust the process, no matter how painful it can get, you have taken that first step, the hardest step. When you finally face your heartbreak and anger, it is not quite as painful as you expected. The process the process, when allowed, will take you all the way back home, and you will finally experience the end of all suffering and lack. You will understand the universe and your life with a new compassion and softness. The struggle that has ruled your life will abate. Then it says, once you have conquered that fear, everything is open to you, and you can have everything without limitations. Nothing is withheld from you anymore. You will know with absolute certainty that the universe that you have feared for so long will provide everything you ever needed and everything you ever dreamed of. What you call the original sin, which I call the original breach of confidence with God, is basically the last thing you need to conquer. That correlates with Adam and Eve's story, which was a metaphor describing the lack of trust in God, which led to separation. Yes, Adam and Eve is just a story recorded with little understandings, though the allegory in your scriptures may contain some levels of truth. It certainly did not happen that way. And that's where they try to make, everybody believe that woman caused sin. Woman didn't do anything. They're trying to use a story to teach, and then the Christians use it, and all, the men in the churches, like the Pope and that, they try to make everybody believe stuff that is not true. So after I'm done a little bit, I'll sit and talk a little bit with people if you want, and I want to know how you're all doing when I'm done this chapter. So I think we're going to get to a meditation, so I want to get that done. So that Adam and Eve story, yes, Adam and Eve is just a story recorded, little understanding, though the allegory in your scriptures may contain some level of truth. It certainly did not happen that way. The story of Adam and Eve and the fall from grace by humanity is very complex indeed. Someday, all the true records will be made available to humanity, and will finally understand and learn much from it. The story is simply a poor representation of what happened and not an accurate one. What is representative is that people stopped trusting in their creator and went into fear. Ariella has among her possessions a little book called The Sons of God by Christian Mercer. This is a story of a woman who decided to trust God no matter what happened to her. Her trust was put to the most extreme test. Through the hardships of her testing, she made a determined and heartfelt decision to never ever again complain about anything. She continued trusting, no matter how painful it became. Even though she made this deep commitment in surrender, she was most severely tested. The happy ending of this true story is that in a very short time she balanced such a tremendous amount of karma that miracle upon a miracle began to flow lavishly into her life. All she had lost was restored 100-fold. During the testing period, she thanked God for every difficulty she was experiencing, knowing that this was going to lead her to something much bigger and much greater. It certainly did. Christine was able to take her body into physical ascension in a couple of years later, at a time when no one else on the planet did. She accomplished this when the energies on the planet were not yet supporting such an activity as it is now. This little book made a big impression on Ariella at the time when she was going through difficult periods herself. She read late into the night from cover to cover the book she found for $2 in a used bookstore several years ago. Ariella's reaction was, I guess my situation, which is by no means as severe as hers, could possibly be improved by using the same principles she did. She reflected in her heart that her attitude towards her life situation was far from being graceful and grateful as Christine was, and became aware that she was harboring resentment. She read the book twice and then decided to apply the principles in the attitude of gratitude as best she could. Ariella's situation improved almost immediately, and within a few months she was again happier than she had ever been in a long time. Her heart was free and her financial situation was restored. Christine's book is worth its weight in gold for the way that she describes how she went beyond all her fears. The way this woman conquered her fear is a great example for everyone to follow. And then it says, I would like to explain the purpose of being tested. And this is where I say there's lots of tests all the time. I've been tested lots and lots of ways throughout my life. And there have been many, many challenges. But yet I just keep going, always believing one day everything is going to change and get good. Understand that God doesn't directly test you for the sake of throwing curveballs simply to be malicious. The testing is an opportunity you have invited for the sake of clearing and balancing negativity you have created in the past. This is where no matter what you did in the past, it's going to catch up to you. If you treated people bad when you were a teenager, if you lied, you stole, you sold drugs, you ruined other people's lives and that, things come back to you. Somewhere you got to face that shit. The testing is an opportunity to have invited for the sake of clearing the balancing negativities you have created in the past. For the sake of accelerating your spiritual growth, you request the testing in order to allow the healing to take place. And this is why it goes on. When you put yourself in a state of total trust, the universe responds and starts providing immediately. And that is a truth. God does not really want to test you. God is love, and his love is unconditional. When you open yourself to the surrender we are talking about, the universe will provide all the situations and opportunity needed to balance all of your issues and heal them forever. With great amazement, you will soon discover how quickly the universe responds to your requests when you are aligned with the divine will. I want to express one more thing before the meditation. The minute you make a true and consistent commitment to your God presence, to totally surrender yourself to the process of change and transformation, your presence will guide you the fastest and smoothest way possible to obtain the objective of your desire. opening the doors of everything. The will of God is the very attribute that will take you all the way home through grace. Souls on the planet have to realize that before they can be taken to specific masters for initiation and advancement. They have to first pass the test of El Moira, which are tests of surrender and divine will. When you decide to make a real commitment to your ascension and to your spiritual journey, if you are not willing to pass the tests of surrender, how can you pass the other tests? Other masters may not be able to work with you until you have understood the various aspects of the blue ray. And then you have made yourself ready for another master. You are elegantly escorted to that master with recommendations. I have been looking forward to giving you this talk about surrender. This is what is most needed at the present time. Going beyond fear is the key. As more and more people let go of their fear, it will become easier for others to do so. If you want to know how you can assist the planet, the most important thing to do is let go of your own fears. Surrender with love to what is and let go of all judgments. The more you practice this and succeed, and encourage others to do the same, the greater will be the pathway you are creating for yourself and for the rest of humanity. You can best serve your planet by clearing yourself first. And that's why I say you have to clear yourself. You have to understand and know what you're doing. That's why I like clearing people. That's why I like teaching. That's why I like seeing people change. I spent a lifetime trying to find answers and do things to help people. And like I say, now you all have to choose it. I chose it when I was a little boy. And I'm still choosing it. And I'll choose it way into the future. That's me. Cindy will choose hers. All of you will choose yours. Meditation. Journey to the Will of God Temple in Telos. This is the meditation. It is around 4 pages. So if you want to sit and relax and meditate as I read, close your eyes, focus on the light. Adam and the Master El Moira, so they're going to come in as I'm reading this, and they're going to take you, and they're going to help you. I'm calling them in. I'm calling in every universal thing to go to all of you, to bless you in your home, wherever you are, so you can receive and go to these places and connect to these things if you're meant to. We have in Telos a temple consecrated to the will of God. There is also such a temple in Darjeeling, India, near Tibet. The retreat of the will of God is under the guardianship of the Master El Moira, both in Darjeeling and Mount Shasta. Many who go there at night or come here to Telos to learn the initiations of the first ray, of surrender of the divine will. They both exist in the fifth dimension frequency, and thus are not visible to your outer eye. Today I would like to take you in consciousness to our Will of God temple in Telos. So they're going to take you there if you want to do this meditation. So relax, sit back, close your eyes, dim your lights, whatever you need. Consciously ask your divine presence or your higher self to take you on a journey with us to Telos. See yourself arriving here in your personal Merkaba, accompanied by one of your guides. Notice a fairly large, opalescent blue structure, quite tall in the form of a six-sided pyramid. As you approach, everything around you resonates with beautiful blue energy, so refreshing and soothing. Allow yourself to walk up to the mother of pearl stairways to the main entrance of the temple. Observe and feel a majestic blue mist emanating from various high fountains all around it. Many types of blue flowers growing in white and gold boxes are flourishing in great abundance and variety around the fountains, including the sweet forget-me-nots. Walk now through the entrance where the 3 blue flame angels are waiting to escort and welcome you in. As you enter into the large hallway, see a transparent chamber in the center containing a huge blue flame diamond, the biggest diamond that you ever see. about 15 to 18 feet in height. Your guide invites you to enter the sacred chamber. The diamond contains several thousand facets, each one representing a different aspect of the diamond heart of the divine will. This diamond is not so different from the one living within your heart, and in time all the wondrous facets of your own diamond heart will become completely activated and restored. Your diamond heart and your sacred heart are one and the same. They are components of each other. They are made of the infinite number of chambers, each one corresponding to a facet of your own diamond. Come into the sacred chamber of the divine will to be greeted by Master El Moira, a tall being with brown eyes who looks very much like a Zen master. Divine will to be greeted by Master El Moira, a tall being with brown eyes who looks very much like a Zen master. Divine will to be greeted by Master El Moira, a tall being with brown eyes who looks very much like a Zen master. He is wearing a blue robe, partially covered with luminescent white cape, with a bluish white and gold turban on his head. He greets and welcomes you to his diamond heart and invites you to find a seat on one of the blue flame cushions. He now guides you to focus on the energy of the diamond heart and to breathe in the energies so that you can bring as much of this energy as possible back with you when you return to your physical body. This blue ray is the one that gives the power to the love ray. All the rays contain love plus the specific attributes of each ray. In the presence of the diamond, you can open all the little facets of your own diamond heart that are full of fear. Let them go. Intend to energize this huge diamond to magnetize and absorb your fear, dear ones, and for them to be released and healed. As you release these fears from your heart, you will receive a tremendous healing. Be aware that it may be difficult to release all your fears and burdens in one visit. This is why we are inviting you to return to the temple in Telos or in Darjeeling as often as you wish to receive deep levels of healing. Inner healing is an ongoing process until you reach completion. Consider your efforts as a work in progress and be willing to stay with the process until all the veils are lifted. It is then that you will know that you are complete. Now connect with the higher self that is standing right above you. Your great I Am presence, the unlimited being that is really who you are. It is waiting for all your fears to be released and healed. Connect with the divine presence. Make your commitment to surrender all the fears that kept you in so much pain so that you can be restored to wholeness. No matter what may show up in your life tomorrow, it is only a mirror of the fear or old pattern or belief that you still hold within yourself that needs to be resolved and embraced. You will soon come to know, as you do this work, that there is nothing to fear except the illusion of fear itself. Keep breathing this wonderful this blue flame, as much as you can directly into your lungs, into your heart. Do this consciously because you want to bring this energy back into your physical body. Also know that all the multidimensional aspects of yourself and all the beings of the light realms are supporting you. Your journey home to divine grace. You are not alone in your journey. You have so much love available to you and so much support. Be confident that you can do it if you choose it. Feel the soothing action of the blue flame. It has its own way of bringing you comfort and lessening your pain. Now, Master Almoira and myself have a gift for each one of you sitting in front of the diamond in our temple. We are going to superimpose a smaller etheric diamond of total perfection, radiating the qualities of the blue essence within the sacred chamber of your heart right within the energies of your own sacred heart. This diamond reflects your divine perfection. With this gift, the perfection of the diamond heart will be reflected to you as long as you choose to work with it. We invite you to start breathing in its energy every day in your meditation, working with those energies every way that seems appropriate for you. In your meditation, ask your higher self to show you which facet of the diamonds are still holding pain and unbalanced attitudes that need to be healed and aligned. The diamond you have just received will continue to reflect everything you need for the complete opening and healing of your heart. It will take you to the path of surrender with joy and grace. It is alive and vibrant. The color reflects the luminescent peacock blue. Keep breathing its energy with allowance and surrender to what is. Be resolute in waking this path. Be resolute in waking this path and feel free to communicate with your guides. Stay with this energy for a while and be thankful for the grace you have received. When you feel complete, return to your body, taking this treasure with you. The more you remain conscious and work with the diamond heart, the more its energies will amplify and bless your life. This is a gift or tool we are giving you, but it will not help you unless you use it. This diamond heart also has a vibration of self-confidence. Tap into the self-confidence energy. It will not help you unless you use it. This diamond heart also has a vibration of self-confidence. Tap into the self-confidence energy to assist you to release your fears so your surrender can be accomplished gracefully. The Blu-ray masters are available to you at this time, offering their assistance when you feel ready. Open your eyes energy to assist you to release your fears so your surrender can be accomplished gracefully. The Blu-ray masters are available to you at this time, offering their assistance when you feel ready. Energy to assist you to release your fears so your energy to assist you to release your fears so your surrender can be accomplished gracefully. The Blu-ray masters are available to you at this time, offering their assistance when you feel ready. Open your eyes. We invite you to return to this healing place often, to meditate with us on the will of God, to continue to make gigantic strides towards your personal freedom. And so be it, beloved. I am. So this is Lord Lando. And Lord Lando in chapter 2 is the second ray, and it's the ray of illumination and wisdom. And the main God qualities of this second ray and actions of the second ray are illumination, wisdom, omniscience, understanding, through love, perception, comprehension, precipitation, discrimination, and activation of God's mind. So these are all the things that are part of this second ray. Corresponding chakra, crown. So the second ray is a crown chakra. The color is yellow. Corresponding stones, tiger's eye, golden topaz. The Kohan of the second ray is Lord Lanto, teacher of ancient wisdom. So if he comes, he's going to give you ancient wisdom. His retreat is the Great Hall of Illumination in the Grand Teton Range, mountain range in Wyoming, USA. So if you astral travel and you're meant to connect with him and you're of the crown chakra, the second ray, he will take you there and he will teach you. Other masters serving on the second ray is Gautama Buddha, Lord Maitreya, Sananda, Jesus, Master Kathumi, and Confucius. They're all crown chakra. So when you astral travel, want to go to these places. It's really important to understand this. Don't go into people's houses. Don't think you're magic astral traveling in and out of my place, or at night wanting to go and check on people in their bedrooms and that. Don't do stupid things. Archangels of the second ray with divine complement is Jophiel and Christine. Their retreat is in the south of the Great Wall of China and the Temple of Illumination. Goddess Miru, the island of the sun in Lake Titicaca and Bolivia. So in China, on the Great Wall in the south, Great Wall of China, is the Temple of Illumination, that is Jophiel and Christine. And then Lake Titicaca and Bolivia is Miru and the island of the sun. The Elohim of the second ray of divine complement is Apollo and Luminia. Their retreat is in Saxon, Germany. So knowing this, you can ask to go to this place and you can get teachings. And if you're of this ray, you'll be brought there. So this is what the crown chakra looks like. And that's why you want to, when you're doing the second ray, you want to use that color, and that's on a certain day. So this second ray, I'll read tomorrow, this chapter. So how's everybody doing? It's a lot of stuff was talked about here. Are you willing to do the work? How do you feel? Hey there, Ian. Good to see you, bud. Just finishing up the 7 rays here. Trying to explain and teach as I go along. How's everybody feeling? Do you feel like you can do this? I've been trying to practice this for years. So you want to see the flower of the crown chakra again? Here it is. And like I say, when you talk about chakras, this is telling you how much more it is. You have to understand all these attributes, like the throat chakra, the first chakra, all of those things. You have to understand. You can't just say, oh yeah, I know the throat chakra. The crown chakra has lots of things, like it's talking about these attributes that are a part of it. And people don't want to understand that. These are protectors and guardians of that. So the Kohan of the second ray, Lord Lantos, is a teacher of ancient wisdom. He knows. But when you're a Reiki master, you just blow it open and do whatever you want. It doesn't work that way. And you can go to his, he knows. But when you're a Reiki master, you just blow it open and do whatever you want. It doesn't work that way. And you can go to his school in the fifth dimension in the Grand Teton mountain range in Wyoming. Ray are Gupta, Lord Maitreya, Sananda, Jesus, Thumi, Confucius. All teachers of this higher crown chakra. The archangels are and Christine, which are crown chakra. They watch. They all watch crown chakra. They see people chakra. The archangels are and Christine, which are crown chakra. They watch. They all watch crown chakra. They see people try to get in and out and do stupid things to my throat and everything else. How things change? That's why I don't worry. And then like I say, the retreat for that is the South Great Wall of China. That's where you want to go to connect these teachers. And that's the Great Wall of China. The Temple of Illumination is, and then the goddess Miru is the island of sun in Lake Titicaca. And then the Elohim, which are Apollo and Lumina, their retreat is in Saxony, Germany. So that's why I say when you have the ability to astro travel, do things right. It's not a game. Every silly thing you do wrong, you just put yourself lower and lower and lower and lower, more on that wheel of karma. And karma is only a teacher. In Buddhism, they try to make you scared of it. And they're like, oh, you don't want to devolve to become a worm. You're not going to devolve to become a worm, but you're going to create lots of karma where you got to work it off for long, long periods of time. And Master Buddha is up here in this crown. He can teach you all these things. Tomorrow we will read that chapter on the second chakra. And it'll give you all these understandings. So if you got to connect with that and heal that, you got to go to these places. You got to get these teachers to teach you, and you got to bring that light and that energy in. So today we were doing the first chakra. Tomorrow we do the second. Yeah. We're always protected. Nobody can lose any kind of protection. There are angels, there's guardians that are around you since you were born. Like when I get put in really, really bad things, there's always angels around me. When I got to go to really dark places, there's always things guarding me. I don't worry about protection. Hey, Cindy, you see, Sheena Taru says, Joe, when are you coming to New Zealand? I could host you at my local Amara. My people need you.
That's cool.
So when are we doing that? Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you can use headphones. So you can even be sitting in your office. You can even be driving, just as long as it doesn't distract you. And I don't want nobody distracted. Don't put yourself in harm's way. It's like me and Cindy. We put on ebooks when we're traveling, and we listen to a lot of different kinds of practices in it. And so this is where you understand and you learn. And like I say, the Easter Islands, New Zealand, and that were part of Lemuria. They were part of um, these. They had ancient temples. There's energies there. And like I say, when that great continent sank, Atlantis was over in the Atlantic Ocean. And that's where the Atlanteans did their things, and the Lemurians were over here in the Pacific. And if you look at a map going way back into the land of Mu in the time of Lemuria, you'll see Easter Island and all these places were a part of it. And when this place was going to sink, they knew thousands of years before. These higher beings who had a lot of knowledge moved inland to places. They moved to Tibet, they moved to Egypt, they moved to this continent. They went all over and they built things. Like the people in Telos say, they moved to Telos and they found this cavern inside and they built this. And they moved inside to heal and grow, and now they're coming back. The Sioux Indians talked about in their legends Ikitomi, the spider people. You're welcome, conscious Queen Dome. Like I say, God brings people here for reasons. And I'm hoping everybody can learn this and want to make it to the fifth dimension. It's going to be pretty lonely to be the only one there. And like I say, people are trying to understand and do this. And we need to start trying to teach and do stuff. People found this knowledge years ago and abused it. A lot of people were taking these books and doing all kinds of stupid things. And there's a lot of people out there that just want to do that. And so tomorrow I will do chapter 2, and you'll understand all the qualities and everything to do with the crown chakra. And there's these beings that watch over the crown chakra. So if somebody's got Reiki abilities and they open up your crown chakra without your permission, they're going to cause themselves a lot of trouble. And they're going to be on the wheel of karma for lots and lots of lifetimes. If somebody is doing anything to your throat chakra, your energies and that, they got lots and lots of karma. They will be taken to other worlds where they will spend long, long time. That's why in the Bible it says, do not violate the Holy of Holies. I'm pretty sure we have it on the thing that says it's the 7 sacred flames. I don't know why people don't want to read. They come on my site and it says I'm reading the 7 sacred flames. I read the 4 other Telos books trying to help people understand. Yeah, just ask the watchers to give you answers, conscious queendom. They're coming to you for a reason. There's many kinds of watchers. There's many universal beings. They know who you are. You just got to get out of your fear and you'll understand. They'll give you the answers. They'll teach and show you. That's why you have to have the knowledge. When you have the knowledge, then they're going to do things. So when they started coming to you, maybe they knew they were going to guide you here, that you would get the answers. And then once you got the answers, you would tune into them. Maybe you're from another world or galaxy and you're in a human body, but your brain doesn't understand. And maybe they're your star brothers and sisters, your family. But we give them names and then we want to believe everything is to be afraid and evil. Yeah, why would they seal a 8-year-old kid's crown chakra? Patnia is asking about with the Mormons. It's like because they lay their hands on top of a child's head, and that child is made to agree that this energy is going to go in and they're going to be sealed. Why? Why do they take a baby and baptize and put a cross over his third eye? Why do the preacher chant all this stuff and seal the child up? And this is where if you want to deal with fear, learn which chakras you need to work with, which teachers, which temples you need to go. You will figure it out. That's yours to figure out. Yeah. And this is where you can go on believing what the church said, or you can say the Pope is just a stupid human guy walking around in a big dress. Why are people praying to him? Why do you got to believe the preachers and everything and all the things they say? They've been doing this to the world for 2,300 years. All they do is create wars and chaos everywhere. Sometimes astral projection gifts are shut off because you're either using them wrong or you're going to cause yourself karma. And you have to understand why you're doing it. People just want to do all kinds of stupid things and show off. People want to be Harry Potter and wizards and they want to be, psychic and they want to do this. People always want to astral travel and I'm like, what the hell for? You go to sleep at night, every night you astral travel. Astral projection is just sending a little piece of your energy somewhere. Why are you doing it? Why are you trying to go in other dimensions? Why are you going into the universe? Where are you going? What are you doing? You need to have that conscious awareness up here. It's really important. And that's why I want people to have knowledge, because once you have it, then you can really, really do the things you're meant to. You have no more fear. And it's about getting the knowledge. They don't want you to have knowledge. They want you to do stupid things so they can keep you on that wheel of karma. Everybody is trying to activate their Merkabas. Everybody is trying to astro travel. Everybody is trying to be psychic. Everybody is trying to be healers. Everybody is trying to be Reiki masters, and they don't know what the hell they're doing. People are going and paying somebody for a 2-day thing and getting a certificate saying they're shamans. I was born this way. I went through hell to be who I am. Wasn't easy. People treated me like shit. People still laugh at me and call me names. I go back to my community. There's people that walk around and just think they're the cat's ass. And they're criminals. They're predators. And yet they're put up on pedestals by the community and they should be put in prison. They've abused everything. They don't care. You're welcome. Yeah, like I say, they want to see if you're afraid. They can't take you into higher things if you have fears. And you can't bullshit yourself and say you don't have fears. These beings know they're not going to put you in something really high if you're scared, because you're just going to harm yourself and everybody around. I keep saying this. Yeah, if you came here, you designed a horrific life because you maybe in another lifetime you were really bad and you chose to pay for it in this lifetime. And now you paid for it. Now you can clean it all up, get out of the fears, and you can become a good teacher. You're welcome, Rose. You have a good day too. See you tomorrow. It always comes back if you choose to do right. And sometimes the universe wants to test you and teach you, so you got to humble yourself. It's like the hubcap master. He had all kinds of gifts and they all disappeared. And he asked me, he said, "Hey, Joe, buddy, can you pray for me that I get all my gifts back? I won't use them wrong anymore." I says, if they come back and you use them wrong, you're going to have to pay for it. They gave him back his gifts. He went right back to doing every wrong thing. And then he had a heart attack and died. He's got lots and lots and lots of bad lifetimes to pay for all the things he done wrong. Yes, Sheena, that's what we came here to do, to break this stuff. We're the black sheeps. We are every other thing and nobody understands us. And like I say, you just keep looking for the good. You keep looking for the light. Whatever it is you got to do, just keep going. You know, well, you're welcome, Angela. I'm glad you joined us. I'm glad all you people are here. How's everybody feeling? I didn't get to greet everybody. I saw Wushu was here. I don't know if Tipson was on. I don't know if Danny showed up. Yesterday, a friend Jackie came on. It was nice to see her. Hey, Rachel. Thanks, Rachel. No, every lifetime has certain things, and you chose certain things. But if you're meant to go into higher planes, then you've figured it all out, and everybody has that opportunity. Some souls don't want to. Some souls are young. Some souls have to have millions of lives of learning yet. And like I say, it's all a school. You get all the right kinds of energy and knowledge in here. It does all kinds of things. Good to hear, Danny. You're doing better now. That's good. The humming and ringing in the ears is just higher beings. Yeah, things keep getting better slowly. Slowly. It all takes time. I'm looking at both Instagram and TikTok trying to answer questions. You're welcome, Conscious Queendom. Oh. Yeah, in the natives, we just call orbs grandmothers and grandfathers. They're just energy. Very, very loving. And they've been around for thousands and thousands of years. If they're showing themselves to you, then very cool. Start talking to them. They have telepathic. They know everything. And they pop in for all kinds of reasons. So communicate with them when you see them. Every color is something different. Everybody's soul is billions of years old. Very cool. At Temp-01, you wanted lots of wisdom since you were a child. Well, I think you're already carrying a lot, and what I'm reading is just going to help you to realize you've already had all that knowledge inside. You just had to be patient till the right teacher came along. Then you feel safe, and you let the Creator and the higher beings, because the teachers are there. Call on these beings. You want to know about the crown chakra? Call all these beings. Meditate. Go to this temple. Use these colors. If you're first throat chakra, then call all those beings to teach and help you understand it all. Like it said, there's two chakras you're trying to heal and understand. When you were created on one of these rays. So you're a light being on one of these rays. And it's just like getting the right answers and knowledge, and then stop being afraid of it all. Now, like I say, it's like getting all the teachings. It's to go into the light till you finally see and understand who you are. Your soul is very, very ancient. Yeah, that's why we're on this earth, to go through pain and suffering and then go back into the light. No, just keep asking to go into the light and your higher truth. She flies with her own wings because the universe made you have that experience. And that is in your future. The orbs are, like I say, angelic beings, and they're checking on you for lots of reasons. But they can't do anything until you get past all your fears and your human desires. And you gotta let go of everything that you grieve or feel sad or anything, and want to live in this higher energy. Very cool, Kyla. A rabbit is very cool. If you read up on animal spirits of rabbit, what does it tell you? Very nice, honey bear. Glad to know that you're happy for knowledge. That's important. Ask. You will be shown, Kyla, what ray you're on. If people see your auric fields and your energies. And like I say, there's guides that will give you those answers. It's between you and the universe. This is where I don't look into people and do these kinds of things, because it's a private thing between you and all your teachers and guides. If I meant to share that with you, I would do it on a private place. I wouldn't do it on a public place, because there are people there that will try to destroy you. That's why you can't go around and just ask anybody and everybody to open your chakras or look at your future or tell you what your colors or anything are. There are people out there that will destroy you. I've had a lot of people do that shit. And doing it publicly is not a good thing. Some of these things are private. You really want to know this? Ask the universe. It will teach you what ray you're on and what you're doing. There's lots of that knowledge around. And there are real good people out there that can find a way to help you. Either that or you'll just be given those answers. This is why sometimes I don't answer questions when people ask me, because sometimes it's very, very private. It's not something that I can just blurt out and the whole world to know. Like I say, people are impatient. You got to learn patience. You have a beautiful day too, Conscience Queen Dome. So I'll be on tomorrow and I'll do the next ray. I'll read that part again, the who are the guardians of the crown chakra. And they say it's the second chakra. So we did the throat, which was the first. Now we're doing the crown, which is the second. And I showed the flowers in that. And so tomorrow I'll read that so you can understand it. And then we'll go into the third one. And it'll tell you about that one. It's important to know these things. Because the throat chakra, there's lots and lots of things. If I can just flip back really quickly here, just to the beginning of the throat chakras. Might have to mark certain pages so I don't have to flip for so long. So the main God qualities of the throat chakra was omnipotence, protection, faith, the will of God through the power of the Father. And then the throat chakra was blue. The stones are lapis lazuli, sapphire, peacock stone, and blue lace agate. And the first ray master is El Moira. And you can go to his temple and learn about this in Darjeeling, India. Or you can go to Archangel Michael and Faith, and their retreat and their temple is in Banff, Lake Louise in Canada. Or you can go to the Elohim First Ray, which is Hercules and Amazon, and that is the Half Dome in Sierra Nevada, United States. And these things you have to understand. You have to understand the omnipotence. You have to understand the protection. You have to understand the faith. You have to understand the will of God. And you have to understand these masters. They're not going to teach you if you're going to be childish and silly. And that's why I want you to have this knowledge. So if you're going to do this and you want to be a part of the future in the fifth dimension, you have to learn all of this. And so this is where you get to transform and do what it is yours. So I will come on tomorrow and we will get on with the next one. So you guys have a good day, good sleep. If you're just going into your day, create lots of good memories, because life is about memories. Go out there, go to meditations, go do a lot of things, stop hiding, and speak your truth. Like, what are you learning? You know, there's people around. Share it with them, even if they laugh at you or call you crazy. I mean, the universe wants to see if you really want to do things. It's not telling you to do it. And invite these things into your home the time you wake up, when you go to sleep, when you wake up, when you go to sleep. You got to give them permission to do this. And they got to know, because once you stop, they leave. And this is what people think. If they just call in whatever being, it's just going to be there for the rest of their life. Like I say, there's things you learn to do. Now, like I say, life is about patience. But what did you believe when you were a teenager? How did you manifest? How did you create? What are you in? Did you create wrong? Did you go down a different path than you were meant to? Like I say, this is where you look at a lot of stuff. Accepting everything is understanding you can't stop karma. You have to accept reality for everything it is in all your lifetimes in your future. But people want to be afraid and they think they're going to stop. There's no such thing as bad karma. Karma is karma. It's a teacher. And it's the way you think and the way you believe. It's like, I made a lot of mistakes in my life. I went through lots of ups and downs. I went through lots of challenges. And like I say, this world is not easy. And I must have been a real asshole in other lifetimes, because I had to go through a lot of hard things. And I still go through things. Like I say, right now, all the revelations, all the prophecies that are going to go on, we got to walk through it. And we need to be able to be in this higher energies like what it said in the Keys of Enoch, what it's saying in these books. We have to get in these higher vibrations. We have to all come together somewhere so we can make it into the future.